Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make a page that looks like Instagram. Alright, let's get started. We're going to jump into a screencast.
It doesn't look great, but right now we're working on this piece. This is the reference site. It's Samson Productions. This is actually one of my buddies. So I'm just taking a look at his site, and I'm going to make it over here, show you how to do it. Okay, so we've done the image, the title. I've done this more button, the follow message, and the friend. And I think we're done with that top section. I'm just going to jump over to the CSS real quick and do that. I'm going to copy this over just so I have my classes. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, so our first class is test SL. Let's do that. And then I'm just going to write in on this test program. It's Elementor. You can just write in. You have a selector for this area. But I can also do flexbox. No, I'd have to put a class on that. If you guys aren't using Elementor, I'm just going to give it a class. So I'm giving a class to this flexbox. And here we go. Let me move this code over so you guys can read it. So I'm just gonna put the code right here. This isn't the easiest to code on because I'm trying to cram it into this video, but hopefully you could see it on your phone. Okay, so flexbox. I'm going to write it over here. So class, I'll just do text or test hero. I'm going to copy that over. And a class really doesn't, the only parameters on classes are you can't have any spaces and you can't use numbers or special characters. All right, so we have this test hero. If we need to write something specific for that, we can. So instead of the selector, I'll do test hero, which is essentially a selector. Elementor just uses selector as that word selector as like a kind of a safe word that's wrapping everything. Because they append things to it with code. So it's like selector, and then it gives it an ID that makes it unique. So that's another thing about classes. They have to be unique. All right, so we were doing it H1. So this is the selector, and this is, so I'm saying the H1 that's within here. Because I don't want it to affect anything. This is actually a live site that I'm working on. So I don't want to mess with anything on the site. I just created a test page. All right, so now I'm going to give that font. This is actually what we're working on. It's like really big, so I'm going to make it. I'm not even looking at their code. I'm just looking at it and remaking it. So let's say it's like 16 pixels, maybe. Maybe 17. Maybe 18. But and then the font weight. There's a short code for font too. It's just font. You do. But I'm not going to write the font family in. But you can. It's font. You do the font weight, the size, and the font family. But I typically just write it like this because unless I'm putting in a font family, I don't want to have to rewrite that every time. And then this is pretty light, so 500 maybe. Maybe. No, it's just they're different fonts, so that's not going to look exact. Okay, so next we have to do something with this image. So we have test S. Oh, this is the site logo. So test SL. Okay, so he has this gradient around. That's a little difficult. I actually have to do something on this div. So I'm going to give it a class, and I have to bring this back over. So test SL div. To do that gradient, this is how I've done it in the past. So, and then when you're writing in it within your HTML, it's space class equals. It could be single quote or double quote. And then I use double quotes because I write a lot of PHP. So I'm just used to that, I guess. Okay, so now, I just pasted that in, and I'm going to copy. Let's do the background so you could see it. I typically would just start with the image, but so here's the background, and it's a let's just do linear gradient. Linear gradient. And then let's do 40. It's probably 45 degrees or something. 45 degrees, comma. Let's do yellow. And I think pink might work. Pink's not a color. Okay. I'm going to inspect this real quick so I can get that color. Let me see if I can just show you real quick. So I'm inspecting this. This is kind of a cool trick. I'm inspecting this. I don't have to find that color. I just have to go in here and put in like white. Click this. It used to be a lot cooler before. When you clicked it, you could automatically do it, but now you have to click this dropper. And then I can grab that specific color. Yeah, there's the color. So I'm going to grab that color, and then I'm going to put it here. And it has to be a pound. It doesn't take the pound, so you're going to have to do it. And then click it again, and I can get the bottom color. I think that's all they're doing is it's a gradient from this color to that color. All right, so let's see. There you go. Linear 45. And then I have to give this padding. That's why it looks kind of weird. And then I have to do a few other things. See how there's only space underneath? It's because an image is display inline, so it has like this additional padding, and that might be from this theme I'm using with Elementor, but or with WordPress. Okay, so now I have some padding. I think that's too much. They're probably at 3, maybe 4. It's like 3.5. Yeah, it's a weird one. Okay, so now this is actually my image. Let me get that. Yeah, here's the HTML. So this is the image, test SL. So let's go border radius 500. I might have to do important because of this thing. Yeah. And then the div, I also have to give that. So I'm going to have to put this border radius 500. And then don't worry about that space underneath. When I add display block, it should get rid of it. Yeah, display block gets rid of that. And then let's give this image a width. It's probably like 100 pixels. Why is this not working? 150. Okay. I don't think this is 220. Something's going on with the flexbox. It's probably because the size of the flexbox and it's trying to fit everything in there. But that looks pretty close. We'll make this back to 3. Yeah, for some reason that color's a little off, but that's pretty darn close right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to test hero flexbox because I want these. Wait, oh, okay, I know what it is. It's this image right here. the test add user. That's why this is down, because this is called align center with flexbox. Flexbox will put two elements together. And the way I did that is I have a flexbox, then I have a div wrapping this one. So that's the image with the div around it. And then I have a div wrapping all this other stuff. And then it'll kind of put it in line. Okay, so let's see. Button, follow. Oh, okay, let me I need this ellipse too. Let's see if this works. All right, so I just put that ellipse in there. Now I'm going to go back to the CSS, and since I put it within this H1, I never really do that, but I think it might be an easy way of keeping this in line, or I could put it within a span. Okay, so that ellipse is black and it's big, so I need to do filter invert and then 1. Oh, and spell invert, right? And then this is probably like width 20 pixels maybe. Yeah. Okay, so 20 pixels. Let me try display flex. There you go. Display flex on the H1. And then the text is one element within the H1. And the image is another element. So the flex makes it just work out. Flex is kind of magical. Okay, so now we're going to give it a gap because I want some space between those. Probably 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's just do 20. Okay, so 20. That looks cool. I mean, this isn't perfect, but it's pretty close. Okay, so follow, and then I have to fix this. Yeah, I'm going to mess myself up doing this. I'm just going to keep copying stuff over here. Sorry. So I have HTML over here on the right side, and this is just so you guys can see it. This is actually the HTML that I'm doing on the left. Okay, so I want this to be message. I have to give these two different classes. I mean, actually, they don't have to have different classes. So whatever. Okay, so I'm going to copy that, paste it, go back, custom CSS, and then I'll just make this test follow. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. I'm already at 14 minutes. Okay, background, white. I might have to do important on this. Yeah. Sometimes if you're important is not the best policy to do, standard, but if something that you're using is overwriting it, it might be something you want to try. Oh, the add user is down. That's why these should be in line like this one, but there's actually an image right here that you can't see. Okay. Okay, so font weight. Let's do 400. Important. Like if you see something not working, chances are it has something to do with that. And then let's do font size. This might be 13 pixels. And I have to do important again. It's a little annoying. And let's try 500. All right, 500. That looks all right. And then they have a larger border radius on this image. border radius 15 pixels. Important. Have to do that for everything. That's too much. 10. That might be okay. Let's do 8. Let's do 8. And then the padding is different on theirs too. So we're going to do padding, and I'll probably have to do important. Okay, so, oh, I didn't have to do important. Nice. 5 pixels, and then 25 pixels. No, it looks like they have more padding on this one than that one. So I would have to give it I could do inline CSS if I want, but okay, so 7, and let's take this down to 15. Okay, 15. Okay, cool. And then for sake of time, I'm going to do margin right. I don't typically do this, so don't do that. I'm just trying to make this as fast as possible. Okay, 5. And their font is actually probably 12. It's just different. I think it looks better at 13. Okay, so 13. And let's grab this image. It's the test user image. And I probably have to put that in a button, the same button. Crud. Let's grab that. Add image. Oh, 1 second. Here we go. Okay, and remember I have to add this to my other HTML, not this one. All right, so while I'm in here, I'm going to put test user. I'm going to put a button around here. So I want to add that chevron into here. I'm just going to add the image within the button. And yeah, it looks a little funky, but okay, so let me help you guys out here and seed these a little bit. Okay, so that's the button. And then this is going to be this image, I know you don't know what I'm talking about yet, but this one right here is actually here. I'm going to put that in a button as well, the same button type. Okay, and then it's going to be class equals test follow. Oh, no. Test follow. Sometimes that is really helpful with HTML, but not when you're going back and changing it, because really hate redoing that. Okay, so now we have these two buttons. Okay, cool. Let me copy that code over so you can take a look. So that's a new one. All right, so test add user is this, but we have the test follow button, and we can actually do an additional class for the image, or we could tell the class what we want it to do. So any image within here is going to be width 25 pixels. And then we should probably display flex in here. Like I said, flex is magical. Okay. Why are these images not wrapping? This one has to be smaller. And since I'm overwriting this, I have to do, well, they're both 15. align items. So I'm actually making the chevron go down. Align items. Align items center. Display block. Gap 10 pixels. 5. And see, this changed. It changed because the flex is trying to flex. So I told you, this is like 100. Not even, it's 90. 80, 90. 85. Something like that. Okay. And then let's go back to test follow test. The test hero. I don't think we wrote anything for test hero. I already have something for flex, so I didn't have to write that out. But let's write align items. So this is like align the different items in here to top. Oh, start. So line items start. And then these aren't flexing. When did that do that? Ooh. I might have to do something additional around this to make that work. I think this video actually might just be me making this top portion. I mean, it is Instagram. The next one I'll make that. That's pretty easy. This is easy. This is, yeah, just doing a grid on that. It's not too hard. See, this one I have to do something special too. But I can add another class in. There's something you could do with classes. So I can do a test follow, and then like test. I already have that TAD or something. Add user, and I could do something with this button. But so we want these to be in a row. And for some reason, they're not doing that right now. And they have that weird thing. It's probably because I have to make another flex around here. Div. So just to make things easier, I'm going to make this a section. Let's do section, because I have to do another seated flex with a column. Okay, so we're going to make a div here. So yeah, having a really good structure for HTML makes your CSS that much easier. And then really you should probably seed this if you want things to be easier to read. And then I'm doing a div around these buttons. And then I'm going to make those have a flex. Let me just do flexbox on here. Yeah, there you go. I rewrote this flexbox. It's just kind of a standard that I use. It makes it a lot easier writing stuff out. So let's take a look at the structure and how I did it. And then there's some spacing issues. Okay, so flexbox goes to here, flexbox. That's the test hero. This is the first section, which just holds the image. And I just made it a section just so these are the same. And then my second section is this whole area. And then I put a div within here. So this is the first div. And then I made a flex box for these so they're in line with each other. Okay. All right, let's see if we can fix this up. There's a couple little things we have to do. And then we probably have to do more of a separator here because it looks like there's like 20 pixels there or something. So I'll just go to test hero. That's, oh, let me copy that HTML over for you guys. It's probably going to flow out now. All right. Okay, so test hero. Test hero, and then like I've said before, gap is the space between your flex items. So 20. Yeah, that looks right. And then this, let's see what we have. This gap is kind of weird. It must be space between. Let me give this a class here. Test hero button. Just gonna give that a, oh, okay. Copy that. Go back over here. Custom CSS. And then what do we have? Test hero. I'm not actually sure why the spacing. The spacing should be right. Let me just try justify content. That's like your it's horizontally aligning things. It looks like the space between right now. It's like taking up the entire space. And that's not it. So there's something going on. And then I need to, another thing before I forget, I need this to be taller. So I usually will give that like a height. And then I'll do display flex on it. Oh, I think I already have that. Yeah, the test file already has flex. So let me give it an aspect ratio of 1:1. And then take the padding down. Yeah, let's try height. And then I'm just going to guess this height. No. 40. 30. 32. 3. All right, 30, 33. And then 5. Start. And then align. I don't know if we did justify content center. Okay, so that looks okay. That's cool. And then this size is fine. Probably, I don't even need to do this. Because the images are the same size, I guess. I mean, these are both 14 width. Okay, so let's update. And I want to see what that spacing issue is. And then this button keeps... the test follow is our button, so we're going to go here. And then we need to add a hover. See how this was turning white. So I'm just going to do color on hover. I want it to do this. And then probably important, obviously I got to override stuff. And then the background, I think they just do like an opacity on it. Or it might be brightness. I don't know. You could do both. Opacity 0.7, 0.8, 0.9. It's just like a slight difference in opacity. Okay, and then let's This is, no. Let's take a look at this. All right, so that looks pretty good. The spacing is weird. I don't know why we're getting that spacing. Oh, it's because I gave it a margin to the right. I don't see that here, though. Okay, yeah, margin to the right. Yeah, it doesn't need any margin because I gave it a gap. So I told you to never do those margins, but all right, so that's the top area. Okay. Actually, I think I'm just going to keep going here. Okay, so let's copy all this text over. And this is just going to be like a list. We don't have to put this in a flexbox or anything. I'm just going to put it in a section just to keep it all here. So, and then I'm going to put this in a UL. And let me give this is like about class equals test about. All right, so test about. And then see what I'm talking about with this HTML. It's kind of, it writes this other one, then I have to copy it. I'd rather just write it in. Like if you already have text, it doesn't, it makes it a little bit of a pain. But here's a kind of a trick. Let's see. To follow. Okay. So if I hold Alt and click, hold, and drag, these ones I'm going to have to remove. But I could just I could type in whatever and type it into each line. But see, it types it in again, so then I have to go and delete that. Yeah. No, this is like a dash. And then I can add it. I deleted something. Deleted text. All right, let's try it one more time. Let's just do it to here. Li. Boom, 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 boom. Then delete that. And then if you go to the end of the line, it'll just grab the end of the lines. Okay, Li, but this doesn't have, this one isn't supposed to be here. It's actually supposed to be after here. It's because this is wrapping. So I'm going to copy that, and then that goes here, and then Li. We'll just write these in the old-fashioned way. Li, and then just to look at this, one more. Since this has a different size font, I'm just gonna take it out of the Li and make it like a span or something. Doesn't have to be in there. I just would put those in an Li so they don't wrap on each other. But if I do a span, yeah, it was wrapping before. Now they're in a list. Okay, so span. And then let's copy this CSS over, or I mean HTML. And then I'll scroll down to where we're working at. Okay, here you go. All right, so that's the section we're working on right now. So I have this, the test about. So that's going to be our first class we're working on. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of these dots and then change some of the fonts and stuff. Okay, UL list style type none. I got rid of that. The padding, I might have already wrote that in somewhere, but usually I think I overrode the entire site with that. Okay, so that looks fine. Let's do font size 14, maybe 13, and then let's do display flex. I just like flex, and then flex direction. Right now it's in a row. We're gonna make flex direction column, and then gap 0. So there's like additional space within here. That might be from the LIs, maybe. Padding 0. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from, so I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'm going to take this test preview. Sometimes it's, I really like going to the inspect mode on the front. It just helps you troubleshoot stuff so much faster. All right. Okay. So there's nothing going on there. Now we're going to do something about this span. And then let's give 2 classes to these guys first. This will just be I could do like first and last, because see how this is bold and this one's bold. And this one is actually, I think, a font higher. It's like instead of 14 or 13, it's or 14, it's 15. So I'll go class test UL about, yeah, there you go. Test UL about. No, test about title. I like to make these as descriptive as possible. Descriptive. And then this one, so I just copied that. This is the, you don't have to erase that. Spelled about wrong. Let me just go back and fix that real quick. About. Okay. And then link. So test about title, test about link. Okay, so we got that in. That's cool. That's cool. Let's go back, and then there we have a spacing issue. There's an additional space that we need here. So test about. I'll just put it on the UL. It's fine. So margin top 20 pixels. 25. Yeah, that's probably right. And then we have test about, and then what was our first one? Like having the HTML here actually. Test about title. So test about title, and then we're going to give it a font weight of like 600 and a font size of 15 pixels. So it's a little bit bigger. And then there's some space. There's still that space issue going on. So 13. I think it's just one. It's one font higher. Okay, so, and then the last thing that we have to do is this span right here. So test or dot span font size. It's going to be the same. So font size 13 pixels. Important. Oh no, it's oops. It's just 13 pixels. And then let's do display block. And then margin top. We'll just do that on here too. It's like 15 maybe. 13. Yeah, 11. It's like 10 or 11. So 10. This is actually smaller. It's 12, 11. And then they have like these links within here. So I'd have to within and 3 more within these guys. Theirs are actually linking out, but since we're just making it look like it, I'm just going to put something called link around these so I can make them bold. We're cheating a little bit. Okay, so link, unexpected end tag. So link. Okay. All right, let's copy that back over. Oh, and then we also have to do this guy. Okay, so that was test about link. That's for this one. It has to be bold too, but the font size is the same. So font weight. But if I made these links, I wouldn't have to write this. Like I would just have to write something for links. All right, so that's cool. And then test about. Let me pull this down and make it a little easier. Test about link font weight 500. Yeah, that. Why is that not working? Okay. Okay, I'll just make this a link. Yeah, it didn't like that A for some reason. Okay, so made the font weight a little bit bolder on that one. All right, that's coming together a little bit better. And don't look at the width. The width of this is actually wider than ours. I can make this wider though. It's like 460 maybe. 470, 480. Yeah, it might be closer to 480. All right, cool. What else we got? And let me delete this thing. All right, so we have these images. That's next. All right, so we're going to put that into another section. This is actually just to mock this up. It's pretty easy. So flexbox. And flexbox can be 3 to however many columns you want. We're going to give it a div. And then let me grab that image. So the first image, come on down. Where are you? Yeah, I think it's this one here. Okay. I have a handy dandy little image gallery I got. So that's our first image. Looks great. Done. Nice. Okay, so that's our first image. So it's not just an image, it actually has some text too. Oh no. All right, so we got that. Okay. And 3 more. So div, and then this is dominate. Okay, so dominate. And then, yeah, your HTML is never going to be perfect. Okay, so, and then AOS. And just so you know, so this guy's he runs the NPC in Las Vegas. So the NPC is the National Physique Committee. They do like all the bodybuilding and physique shows. Pretty cool. Class here in Las Vegas. Test. This is test, like highlights, let's say. All right, so we're going to give that test highlights. And then just since I don't like just wrapping things or not putting things in a wrap, I'm going to wrap these in spans if I can do that. Okay. See what I'm talking about? When you already have stuff in there, it makes it really annoying. It's sometimes easier to copy it. Just write all your structure and then start putting data in. But I never do it like that. I always have the data and then I have to like work around these things. I wish there was like a way to shut off where it puts in the end tag right away. Okay, so let me copy that over and I'll move us down to our new flex area. So flex highlights. So we just did the same structure each time. Div, image, span, div, close. Div close. Okay, cool. So that looks like it's structured correctly. Let's see, test highlight. I'm going to scroll down, test highlights. And then let's do, it's already flex, so we should be fine. Let's do our image first. I think it might be the easiest. Okay, so border radius on the image is 500. I always do 500 pixels if I want it round. And then the width, I would say it's probably 50 pixels. 60. All right, it's 60. And it looks like these have divs around them too. All right, and then let's do our test highlight. And we're going to do they have like a border around them. It's gray or something. So that's a border with like padding. So I'll show you how to do that. And then let's do display block. And then make sure and write display right. Okay, display block. Text align. I don't use text align as much as I used to since I've been using flexbox, but it's still pretty helpful. If you're not using flexbox for the span, you could use it, but not on the outer element. You would just use justify. So these are right. Let's see. So font size. The font size will work because there's only one thing in here. It's probably like 12 pixels. Maybe 11. Oh, 11. All right, that looks fine. And then let's go back. Test highlight. We actually need to increase the gap a little bit. Test highlights. Gap. Let's do 10. It's probably, I guess that's right. Okay, so let's give this a background of 3. Nah, it's like 2. Oh, that makes it a little more difficult because now I have to do it around the image. Forget it. I said it had anything because you could barely notice it anyway. Okay. We can give this a border though. That's one way. 2 pixels, solid. Yeah, that's fine. And then 5. Padding. All right. Well, I guess all you have to do is a border there. All right. That looks pretty similar, right? Is that 1 pixel? I guess that's what it is. It doesn't look that good. The border from like what we're looking at, it looks better as 2. It's like it looks like dashes, but because it's too far away. It's probably my screen doing that, but yeah, I'm sure it looks like that on a lot of screens. All right, cool. So that's what we got so far. Next is this section right here. All right, so I'm gonna copy those. This is gonna be another flexbox. Okay, so flexbox. Let's click off here so we can see. All right. Flexbox. Nope. Not typing anything. Flexbox. Open. And then we'll start out with our divs. Just kind of get that structure in. Okay. I'm going to paste just so I don't have to fool with the data, I'm going to paste it down here. And then I'll put in some of my structure. I don't know why this thing does it. Okay, so it's because you have to go to the beginning. All right, so that. Okay. And then we're going to cheat a little bit. So span, strong. Nah. Well, whatever. Let's call this we have to give this flex something. Test stats. Okay, so test stats. I'm going to do that again, and then make these appropriately aligned. All right, that looks all right. I usually don't structure things like this, but to make it easier for everyone else to read, I'll do that. And then technically this should be here. And then strong would usually be underneath too, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I do a lot of minified code. I just write it in a line like I would normally write something. But when you're working with a lot of code, that becomes a pain in the butt real quick. All right, so now we got span, posts. Let's copy that. Wait, no, that's not the right. Oop. There you go. And then post followers. And then following. There you go. There you go. That looks good. Okay. Now, let's copy our HTML again. I'm going to paste it in. It's not easy building Instagram, I guess. I mean, it's not. Their page isn't too hard. The data, yeah, that's the challenging part. We've built some social media sites, and they're pretty complex. Okay, so this was that guy. It's already display flex. Let's do our divs first because we want to structure those in a column. So I'm going to do display. I want these display flex within a display flex. And then since they're spans, they're already going to be, I mean, you really don't have to do this. Well, this is fine. I probably would do this anyway. But yeah, and then justify content. Center. Text align. Center. Okay, and then we have to do something for stats because we have these guys that have there's like a border on the top and bottom. So border top. That's probably like I mean it's 1 pixel solid. I'm just trying to think of the color. No, it's like 3 maybe. 2. Yeah, it's 2. That's another reason why it looks like choppy because it's so close to black. It's like okay, so bottom. We got to do that too. You can't see it because of this thing, but when I give it some padding, you'll be able to see it. Padding, well, not padding to this, but all right, cool. And then let's do on this one. We're gonna justify content. See how these are all in the beginning? We want them spaced out. So this is justify content space between. There you go. Yes. That looks fine. Let's make this 15. I think that's a little too much. And then these widths might be space around. Yeah, it's actually space around. And then let's change the font size of this to 13 pixels. All right, 13 pixels. And then let's actually work on, you know how we put strong around this guy? We're going to make strong a little more bold. Oh. So you can just identify strong within test stats. Make sure and do that so it doesn't affect other places on the site. You might not want it to do that. Weight, and then 600. And let's see if I can do font size 12, 15 pixels. Oh, you can adjust that. Okay, so I made that 13. Let's make this 14. It's a little bit, it looks like it's a little bit bigger. And then I think this padding is 10. And then we have to margin. The test highlights needs a margin, and that's this guy. It needs to be margined. It has like a margin here and a margin here. Ours doesn't have any. So 20 pixels, and then auto. So that's top and bottom, left and right. It's just like a shorthand. If you wanted to do top, bottom, left, right, you could do all 4 of them. It's yeah, I believe it's top. It's like top, right, left, or top, right, bottom, left. I believe that's how it goes. Don't quote me on it. Don't quote. Okay, cool. Cool. Looks fine. Fine. This, there might be additional padding because our image looks a little bit bigger. There's like something going on there. And this might be 30 degrees. This little stuff bugs me. 20. $50. See if there's like a, is there an orange? All right, that looks a little closer. Let's say, do I have something? Margin. All right, I'm not gonna mess with it. I think it looks good. Okay, so that looks cool. That looks, I mean, I think it's looking pretty close to how Instagram looks. All right, so the next thing, we can actually just copy the these are like the same structure. So if we're looking at these 3, and this isn't going to do what Instagram does where you click off. We can do a video on that. That would be, it'd be a little more time. Probably take us like the rest of the day to make that, but okay, so this is test. Test port icons. And then I have the images here, so I'll just pull these. All right, so first is our grid. Let's bring that over. So this is actually an easier task here. So image goes here. Image. And it's going to look weird until we style it. Especially on a black background. Until you style it, I mean, it can be a little funky. All right, so copy. I'm just putting in all the images here. So now I'm doing the video, the real image, and then the tags. So tags. And then all we have to identify here is the image. That should be it. Well, I could give this an active. I'm probably going to do that. Let's just see. So IMG, and then we're going to give them all the same width. I think they're like probably 25 or so. And then color. Oh, wait. Filter. They're probably using, to make this color, they're using SVGs. I'm using a PNG, so I could probably do something similar to make it blue, but I'm not gonna fool with that today. Okay, so that looks like we're a little off. 24. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, oops. It's not what we wanted to do. No padding on these. And then but for some reason this one looks weird. I know that does not look like the same width. I don't know why that's doing that. Don't you just love coding? It's fun. If one of you people watching knows why that did that, let me know. Cause it might have been the image size. Then maybe the image size is like, I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, no. Important. Come on. Okay. Now I might have to write something like specifically for this one. The image is smaller. But if I put in a width of 22, they should all be 22. Just listen. Okay, cool. All right, so one thing we could do is this little active. So we could give this div a class right now of test active, just to make it look like it. You would do that with JavaScript if you were making this work for real. Border top 2 pixels solid. Test active. Oh, it's putting it right on the image for some reason. I didn't put that on the image, did I? Test active. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's just putting it right on this image. So let's try space between. Why is it putting it right on the image? Here we go. Div test. Let's take that off. And then test ports icons div padding. We'll put the padding on this one. And then display flex 1 justify content center. All right. Yeah, I think that's it. And then, why is that image doing it? Da, 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 da. Work. Work. Child 3. Let's give this. I'm just going to give this a class. All right. So I was trying to do nth child here, but I don't know why this isn't working. Yeah, I have to like give it a. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having to do that. That's weird. And then there's some additional space here. Why is there additional space? There you go. Okay. And then is that one or oh, that might be one pixel. Okay. Yeah, but if you click on if you click on the Instagram ones, it'll open them all up. All right, I'm going to move the HTML out just so we could see this page. All right, so -4. Now we're getting serious. I got to get this done. All right, I don't have all day. I guess. All right, so now I'm gonna. This is looking cool. So now we're gonna put in our last, but not least piece. So with this, we're probably gonna do a grid. It'll just be probably the easiest. Okay, so and I don't have anything for grid, like flexbox, but grid's another display type where you can do a grid of things. All right, so copy, and we'll do this in divs, image, src, boom. All right, so we need to make nine grids. So 2. Thing's annoying. 4, 5, or wait, 6, 8, 9. Okay. Now let's do, we'll give this a class. So portfolio test portfolio. Test portfolio. Okay. We're going to do display and grid. And with grid, you're going to give it a specification on the parent level. So in this test portfolio, we're going to give it a specification. So grid template, template columns. That's what it is. And then let's do repeat. We want this to repeat. And then it's going to go 3 at 1 full frame. So each will be like that. And then we'll do, you could still do gap with this. So maybe 3 pixels. Looks fine. Okay, and then we have to do something with our images. So let's go. That's pretty easy. So there, IMG. And then we'll do an aspect ratio on this. That just, if you know what an aspect ratio, that's exactly what it is. We're giving it a 1-to-1, so a square. So one aspect ratio would be like the y and x axis, or y is 1 or x is 1, or the width and the height. Okay, and then see how it's kind of skewed. We have to do object fit, cover, object fit cover. Oop. And that should be it. All right, let me put in some of these images so we can do a proper test. All right, image here. So that one. Where's the next one? Where are you? There. Here's the next one. Show yourself. There's the next one. There is our next one. I believe it's this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. 4. Yeah. Yeah, theirs are getting displayed a little bit. Oh, because this is a video. So they crop the bottoms or something. I don't know. Okay, then we have this guy. Okay, that was 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. It's like whack-a-mole. Okay, and then this dude. All right. And then our discounts. And then this lady. And then last but not least is this. Huh? Where'd you go? Oh, here we go. I got it. Is this one? Oh, no, I can't do it. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. So let's take a look. I think this is going to look pretty good. Oh. This thing keeps doing that. All right. Sweet. All right, so what do you guys think? Looking pretty good? Let's bring these in the middle. And let's see how close we are. I think it looks pretty close. I mean, not too bad, right? This is stacking. Some of the things that you're looking at, it's a different font. This actually looks a little bit bolder than ours. Our spacing is a little. Oh, the spacing was off a little bit here. This row is stacking. That's why we see this different. This font size might have to be one smaller. This area came out pretty nice. The image is a little bit different. Again, the font sizes are different. I would have to spend a little more time to figure out how that's doing, what that's doing. And probably look at a couple of different images. This has a black background, so it's hard to see if they have like padding or anything like that. I think our widths are a little bit different. So maybe if I had this wider, it would actually fit and it would be closer. But I think if anyone saw this, they would probably think it's Instagram because it's pretty close. All right. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to work on another video. All right. Thanks for watching.